Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're cutting through the noise, really focusing on a story that makes you question online safety at a fundamental level. We're talking about a big data breach happened recently, involved a dating app called T.
Right.
And what's, well, particularly unsettling here is how Key presented itself. It was specifically branded, as a female-first platform. They really pushed the safety angle, trust, strict verification. That was the promise.
Exactly. And that promise makes the breach even more concerning. So for this deep dive, our mission really is to unpack how this happened, how over 11 million users had their very sensitive data exposed.
11 million.
Yeah. We need to get into the implications. For privacy, sure, but also for digital safety more broadly. What does this tell us about the platforms we trust with, well, our most intimate details?
Okay, let's start with the scale then, because the numbers, honestly, they're sobering.
They really are.
Over 11 million female users. Their private data reportedly compromised. Just let that sink in.
It's huge.
And then you look at what data got out. It's disturbing. This isn't just like profile names. We're talking personal selfies, actual ID documents.
Right, the verification stuff.
Exactly. Front and back scans of photo IDs, government documents, and personal conversations, many really explicit. The sheer volume was, over 274 gigabytes of incredibly sensitive user data.
That's right. And it's critical to understand how this actually came to light. It wasn't some, super sophisticated cyber attack group.
Okay.
It was found by vpnMentor, the pretty well-regarded cybersecurity firm.
Right, I've heard of them.
They found that T's cloud server basically was misconfigured.
Misconfigured? How so?
Well, the technical issue was, frankly, quite basic. The data was sitting in an open Amazon Web Services bucket, an AWS bucket.
Open meaning?
Meaning accessible. No authentication needed. Anyone who found it could potentially access it.
Wow. Like leaving the vault door unlocked.
Pretty much. It's a fundamental security failure. Surprisingly common, actually, often just down to human error in setup.
So, okay, just to be clear, not a complex hack, but a basic preventable mistake. Left millions exposed.
If that seems to be the case, yes.
What does that say about their security mindset? I mean, handling data this sensitive?
It definitely raises serious questions. A big gap between the promise of safety and, well, the reality of their setup. And this brings us to the real irony here.
What is?
T required users to upload these selfies and IDs. It was mandatory for onboarding.
Right. They said it was, quote, meant to build a safe environment and reduce catfishing. That was the justification.
Precisely.
But this whole verification process, the thing they sold as the core safety feature on this female-first platform, it actually became the weak point. It put the very users they claimed to protect in danger.
It absolutely did. It's almost a textbook case of, well, some might call it security theater.
Security theater, meaning it looks secure but isn't.
Kind of. You build the perception of safety, maybe make users feel comfortable sharing more because you mandate things like ID checks.
Yeah. Right. You think, oh, they must be serious about security if they need my ID.
Exactly. But if the underlying storage isn't secure, that feeling of safety is false. And the data you provided for safety is now the biggest risk. Because exposing this kind of data, your actual government ID, your face, linked potentially to private chats, opens people up to really severe harm.
Like what specifically?
Oh, serious risks. Blackmail is a big one. Harassment, both online and potentially offline. And just profound reputational damage. Stuff that can follow you.
And you mentioned the data set had chat messages too. Millions of them.
Yes, millions. And these often included names, maybe locations, photos shared between users.
So it's not just the ID in isolation, it's context, connections, maybe even where people are.
It builds a much richer and therefore much more dangerous profile if it falls into the wrong hands. The potential for harm just skyrockets.
It feels bigger than just one app messing up.
It absolutely is. It forces a hard look at the whole online dating industry and, any platform handling sensitive data.
Yeah.
Especially those targeting specific groups, maybe vulnerable ones.
Like the femtech space you mentioned earlier. Tech for women's health and well-being.
Exactly. It raises the bar, or it should. How are these platforms really protecting users beyond just saying they do?
And meanwhile, silence from the developers.
Complete silence, seems like. No formal statement. Nothing official.
And the app is still available? People can still download it?
As far as reports indicate, yes. It's still live on app stores.
That's quite something. What does that lack of response even mean?
Well, it's deeply concerning. It could suggest negligence, maybe a total lack of a crisis plan, Or worse, maybe a lack of concern for the impact. Advocacy groups, experts, they are speaking out, though.
Like who?
Cyber lawyer Pooja Meha put it very bluntly. She said, this isn't just a tech glitch, it's a women's safety issue.
That hits hard, a women's safety issue.
And she's right. This incident, it just adds to this growing list of what you could call gender-targeted cyber vulnerabilities. It really underscores the urgent need for what we call secure by design policies.
Secure by design.
Meaning security isn't an add-on. It's baked in from the very start, from the concept phase. Regular audits, proper configurations, preventing these kinds of basic but catastrophic mistakes, especially in femtech and dating apps.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap the key things we've unpacked here. A massive breach, scale-wise, over 11 million users.
Right.
Really sensitive data exposed, IDs, selfies, private chats.
Fairly personal, yeah.
The huge irony of a safety feature becoming the core vulnerability.
The verification paradox.
And these wider implications, questions about platform responsibility, data handling, especially for apps targeting women.
Definitely.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it, about the risk we take online. Even when a platform promises safety, you share your data, you're taking a risk.
You are, and maybe that leads to the final thought here. When something like this T-app breach happens, what does safety online even mean anymore? Especially when we hand over our most intimate data. And whose job is it really to make sure that trust isn't just a marketing term, but something that's actually genuinely upheld?